Ayo, what is groovy? What is good? It's your boy Papa Capes, and we are back with yet another Raid Shadow Legends video. Thank you so much to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you can find in the description down below. Using that link directly supports me and directly supports the channel, yo. If you choose to start with that link, you'll be greeted by Tholen Foulbeard right off the bat, and as you progress just a little bit, you'll then meet the likes of Ugo, Tagore, and Mausoleum Mage. Right now, you can secure a second legendary on that account by using code RAID7 for Pelops the Victor or code WRATH for Padraig. And also, currently, there is a 7-day login event for Vallaryn, who you can secure by simply logging in for 7 days and then claiming him, which is a fantastic time to start Raid. A triple legendary account? Say no more. Let's get into the video. Today is Champion Audit number 2, and we are going to be looking at Vallaryn right here, who is currently the champion that you can get as part of a login event. On day 7, you will secure him as part of the Web of Corruption 7-day login event. Vallaryn, the equalizer from the undead hordes. And I have a couple of questions, because this series, the Champion Audit series, isn't whether we ask ourselves, is this champion good? We ask ourselves, is this champion good for my account? And if you're sitting there watching this, you're going to be asking yourself, is this champion good for your account, for where you are currently with your progress through the content in Raid? So I'm going to be asking myself, is he good for my account? Am I going to be building him? Am I going to be investing in him? Am I going to utilize him as soon as he is introduced to my account? That's the question that we need answered in the Champion Audit. And I think it's cool to be looking at Vallaryn the Equalizer, because this is a champion that every single player should be getting for free by simply logging into the game for 7 days. So, what does this champion actually do? That's the first question we're going to ask ourselves. Undead Horde champion. He's an attack legendary champion. He's A1, attacks one enemy twice. Each hit heals this champion by 20% of the damage inflicted. Each hit also has a 50% chance of placing 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. Interesting. And why is that interesting? Because the only person that I have, the only champ that I have that helps me with mimics in Grim Forest is Venomage. Venomage and Geomancer. If I have both of them as part of my deck that the deck has given me with RNG, I will beat the mimic. If I don't have Geomancer and I only have Venomage, I'll still beat the mimic, but it'll take a bit longer. But if I do not have Venomage, not even Lebanese helps. Well, I don't know why, but her heal reduction is just, maybe I've just built her poorly, but another heal reduction champion is definitely something that I would like to invest in to help me with the mimics in Grim Forest, hard specifically. So let's go on to the A2. It's an AoE attack, has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff and a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. A3 attacks one enemy twice. Before attacking, removes all debuffs from this champion and swaps HP with the target. Will ignore 15% of the target's defense. Will ignore 30% of the target's defense and any shield buffs instead if this champion's current HP is greater than the target's. I don't think I've personally got a HP swap champion on my account. So this is a individual cleanser. He'll cleanse himself before attacking. So that's fine. We've got cleansers, but that heal reduction is still the most appealing thing for me and my account. Passive. My True Purpose, the active effect, decreases the cooldown of one of this champion's skills by 2 turns. Whenever this champion loses 30% or more HP from an enemy skill in a single turn. The passive effect, this champion counter-attacks with their default skill each time an enemy is healed by a skill, occurs once per turn, and the heal reduction is on that A1, okay? Then the aura is increase ally attack in all battles by 28%. And the stats right off the bat, nothing too crazy, nothing that's fantastic, but I mean, it is there. So the A1 to me is what makes this very appealing. I think that this champion is definitely going to help me with mimics, and that is why that I would possibly invest just for those mimics, because I know that Anaxia is not necessarily a top tier champion, but it's still a mythical, right? And for my account, for where I am currently, any mythical is a good champion, I feel. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but I feel like any mythical on my account currently will make a difference. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm wrong in saying that. I love conversing with you guys in the comments right after these videos go live. So yeah, after we looked at their kit, it's definitely something that's appealing specifically for Grim Forest, for the mimics. I know that that's not necessarily diving into their kit super deeply. I just saw heal reduction and I was like, boom, this is where I can use you. And I know that this is where my account currently struggles because, like I said, if I don't have a Venomage, I will not beat that Mimic. So again, we know that champions do not exist in a vacuum. Would he make any other team? Would he make my Dragon team? I don't think so. Would he make my Spider team? I don't think so. Would he make my Ice Golem team? Again, I don't think so. Would he make my Fire Knight team? I don't think so. None of those dungeons need Vallaryn on my account specifically. Hydra, also a no. Curse City, potentially. I would need to look into it and obviously see where in the rotation he falls part of. Doom Tower? Again, I don't think so. But there is a boss in Grim Forest or Curse City as well that I do feel, not Curse City, in Grim Forest, Isheth. Is it Isheth? I do feel that his kit will allow for us to go through Isheth, which isn't a boss that we struggle with. Right here, Isheth. We do not struggle with this boss specifically, but I do feel that there could be space here. Like I said, if I don't get a Venomage in this rotation, then at least Vallaryn will come in and do that heal reduction on this boss over here. The one boss I am struggling with, seeing that I'm in Grim Forest, is this one right here. Drognell. I don't know why. I've never struggled with this boss before, but this is hard Grim Forest, and this is by far the furthest I've made it through hard Grim Forest. We've got Ezio, we've got Mikey, we've got Galek, we've got Xeno, and we've got Arbiter, but I simply cannot survive against this boss. So, slightly off topic, but if you have any tips to go with what you see is my roster here in Drognell, please let me know. Perhaps I'm just missing something, but yeah, I will go and look in the comments afterwards, because if I can finish Drognell, then we can also go and take on Leshan, the Entangled One, in hard Grim Forest for the first time. I definitely do feel that Vallaryn will come through and be used immediately in my faction wars. Undead is one of the faction wars, or one of the faction crypts that we have not yet finished, and I do feel that it's because I do not have a reviver. I do have a cleanser, an AoE cleanser. I don't have a reviver though. So maybe it can be used. I also can't think off the top of my head who my damage dealers are in terms of undead. Let's go and check that out real quick. Factions right here. Undead, hide. So in undead, we've got Dark Elhain, we've got Vogarth, we've got Seeker, who's new. Seeker is new to my account. And then we've got Mausoleum Mage, who's the cleanser / healer. And then Dark Aethel. But Dark Aethel's absolutely shocking in terms of my undead hordes damage dealers. Too squishy, just never ever survives. I even use like a support kit on Dark Aethel to try and increase that survivability. So instantly I will take Dark Aethel out and put Vallaryn in. So I will be using Vallaryn in my faction crypts as well. So that's two areas that I'm definitely guaranteed to use Vallaryn. So is Vallaryn solving a problem coming onto my account? Yes. In terms of faction wars, right off the bat, 100%. In terms of the Mimic, which is the other bit of content that I can see them using, I would say yes, but not as clearly as they would be solving a problem in faction wars. So granted, if I do not get the RNG for Venomage in the Mimics, when it comes time to fight the Mimics in hard Grim Forest, then yes. But if I get Venomage in every single rotation and the RNG is blessing me with Venomage, then yes. Then no. Vallaryn won't be solving a problem, but to increase the odds of having heal reduction when going into these Mimic fights is worth it for me 100%. And then the important part is, if we're looking in terms of investment, right? What affinity is Vallaryn? Let's go and double check real quick. Undead. Vallaryn is magic. Do we have the potions right off the bat to get Vallaryn to 6 stars? Let's go and look for anybody really. Ascend, potion mixer. So yes, we're not struggling in terms of magic potions, so that's fine. How are we looking in terms of legendary books? We only have 4 legendary books. So when it comes to utilizing that resource, in terms of books, we won't be able to fully book the champion. I haven't necessarily studied the champion's kit enough to know how valuable books are in Valorant's case specifically. Some champions don't need to be booked. Some champions are useless without books. So we're currently sitting on 4 books, not really a great place to be, but we do have some books to put into Valorant. Masteries is literally, we have gems if we desperately want to, but I don't think it's such an emergent issue to utilize masteries on a champ like Valorant for my account specifically. I'd rather use gems to not only finish this fusion, but if I'm left with gems after this fusion, I'm going to pump it into Embreeze, because in Champion Chase, Embreeze is coming onto this account, so I know I'm going to be investing 800 gem into Embreeze's masteries right out the gates. Silver, also, like with the way that I've been playing recently, I don't necessarily know exactly what I've done differently, but I haven't struggled with silver. I haven't struggled with silver at all, and I've already finished the second gear enhancement event as well. So to secure that Horn Viper over there, and we've still got a decent amount of silver. This is because I'm crafting in the forge when I need to for like advanced quests. I am filtering out when I do auto battles. I'm doing a gear selling filter as well, which I've never done before. So the silver just seems like it's a renewable resource, which is kind of cool. So if we're being honest with ourselves, the question that we ask at the end of these champion audits is, am I excited to get Vallaryn because he is strong, or am I excited because he is new? I can honestly sit here and say, it is not because he is new. It is because he's definitely going to help my account immediately with mimics, and mimics is the one area I struggle with consistently, and I almost have to progress, like take a detour in Grim Forest hard until I get the proper RNG that Venomage and Geomancer is in the champion selection pool. But with Valorant, that will increase those odds of me being able to complete that content because of that heal reduction coming through. So I don't think I'm excited because they're new. I'm excited not necessarily because they're strong, but because there is room for this champion's kit on my account, which is absolutely crucial when it comes to looking at who I will be building and why. So in terms of the champion audit verdict, when will we look at building this champion? So realistically, again, for my account, I will be focusing on building Embreeze first. I will also be focusing on building maybe Masahiro as well, but it will be soon. It's not going to be in a couple of months. It's not going to be in several weeks, but it's going to be soon. Not the first, not the second, because I do have champion depth on my account in terms of Venomage for the mimics, and it's not a case of live or die. If I don't get Venomage, it just makes Grim Forest take a little bit longer, but Valorant's going to come in and allow me to do that a bit quicker as a, let's call it a mimic specialist, for lack of a better term. Let's call it a mimic specialist. So I will be building Valorant soon, but I'm not sure exactly when. Definitely after Embreeze, definitely after Masahiro. Cool, so that's, I guess, just my take on it. I'm kind of looking into champions before I just choose to build them, and this just gives me a mental plan and a mental structure as to what I'm working towards, and it helps me with the goals in my account. Let me know what you guys think about Valorant the Equalizer. Are you excited to build him? Do you also have a mimic issue that he might come through and be the solution for? Are you just not going to build him and you're just happy that you have another champ that you can pull during champ chase? Let me know down in the comments below. Yo, it is my favorite thing to do after these videos go live, to meet you guys in the comments and have a conversation, having some debates and just vibing out with you guys in the comments. So I really appreciate it. We are growing every single day in terms of this whole YouTube thing. So thank you guys for the love and the support. And thank you to Raid so much for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you can find in the description below. Using that link directly supports me and directly supports the channel. I'll see you guys in the comments right after this one goes live. Happiness is a choice. Kindness is free. Leave your mark, yo. Peace out.